Hello guys, Greg back with another video. So today I'm doing my top 20 spring and summer fragrances. As always with these lists, this is going to be from fragrances just from my own collection and totally based on my own opinions. Nothing else other than that. So let's dive straight into it. So the one that you can see there in the picture, hidden away on the left, is Perry Ellis's 360 Degrees Red. It's a fragrance I've reviewed, so I'll leave a link to that video in the description of this one. But this one's very similar to Armani's Acqua di Gio, but Perry Ellis 360 Red has got some cinnamon and some other spices in there that just make it different enough to make it interesting. Performance is about the same as it is on Acqua di Gio for me, but this one wins on price. It's only £20 for 100ml in the UK. Very sort of uplifting scent, makes you feel really good when you wear it. So that's number 20, that's Perry Ellis 360 Degrees Red. Number 19, this one is a fragrance that I think is very, very close to Dior's Bois d'Argent. I think if you sort of gave it a person in the street both of these, they'd find it very difficult to tell them apart. But this one performs a bit better for me, which is why I own this one instead of Bois d'Argent. And it's from the house of Van Cleef Arpels, and this one is called Bois d'Iris. Sorry, I'm just trying to adjust the light on the camera a little bit. That's a little bit better. So yeah, this one is the only real difference I'd say between this and Bois d'Argent for me is that there's incense in here, and apart from that, they're very, very close. This one comes in a 75ml bottle only, I believe, and the UK retail price is £125, so not cheap, but a really, really good fragrance. So number 18, one of the sort of not really talked about Tom Ford private blend fragrances, but this one is perfect for spring and summer for me. Criminally underrated, this one. And this one is Azure Lime, or Azure, not sure. But this one's a sweet, musky, floral citrus. A lot of woods in the base. Very fresh, very welcoming type of fragrance. Kind of like, it makes you approachable, if that makes sense, when you wear this. But definitely deserves more attention in my opinion. It's one of my favourites at the moment from the private blend collection. So that's Azure Lime. Next up, one of only two fragrances from this house that I own. This is from Bond number 9. And this one's called Bleecker Street. Now this one is it's a really interesting fragrance, I think. It reminds me a lot of Bulgari's Aqua. I find this to be quite a marine sort of fragrance, but it doesn't have that salty seaweed sort of accord that Bulgari Aqua has. What this one does have is a really fantastic blueberry note, which really hits you right from the start. There's also a lot of cedar in here and quite a lot of oak moss, but I really do enjoy this one. But it's one that I only wear on very hot summer days. That's just when I prefer it and when it works best for me. So that's Bond number 9's Bleecker Street. So next one up, one that you'll all have heard of, I think. This is a beautiful lemon vanilla pink pepper scent, and it's from the house of Chanel, and it's called Allure Homme Edition Blanche. Definitely the best from the Allure Homme series in my opinion. They're all really good, but this one's the standout. Beautiful fragrance. That's number 15. So no, that was number 16, sorry. Number 15. Again, this is the only one from this house I own. The house is Acqua di Parma. This one's called a Colognes Essenza. So this has got that signature Acqua di Parma sort of citrus aromatic feel that they've all got, but this one's got a little bit extra to it. I'll describe this one. It's a really great blend of neroli and bergamot, and it's got a big hit of musk and then some light rose. And when I wear this, it kind of makes me feel like a sort of classy, dressed up Italian guy, which for a chunky geezer from Essex in the UK, that's pretty impressive. So really enjoy this one. My favourite from that particular house, Colognes Essenza. So next up, this is from the house of Atelier Colognes. Now the one that gets a lot of attention from this house is Orange Sanguine, which I also own and really do enjoy, but this one is the best from the house in my opinion, and this one's called Cedrat Environ. Beautiful, fresh, uplifting, aromatic citrus blend is how I'd describe it. It's green, it's woody, it's spicy, just a little hint of booziness in there as well. Very reasonably priced. These are all Cologne Absolute concentrations, which effectively means they're EDPs. 200ml bottle here. I get these fragrances, my ateliers, direct from their website in France, and there's often coupon codes for reductions, but they're pretty good price even without. I think, to be honest with you, I think I only paid about £100 for that 200ml in the end. So number 13, one of the Creed Royal exclusives. Stunning, beautiful fragrance, this one. This is Jardin d'Amalfi. Now these Royal exclusives are extremely expensive, so as I've done with all of the sort of expensive Creeds, I bought the flacon and I split a lot of it just to sort of take the burden off the cost. As you can see, I've split about 3/4 of this one. But this one's got a really great mouth-watering tangerine note in here, and it's mixed with neroli and rose. Now, anyone that sort of follows my channel knows I'm not a big fan of rose-heavy scents, but the way that the rose is blended into this one is really stunning. And then it dries down to a musk and cedar, but stunning from start to finish. Lasts about 8 hours on my skin, but it's very subtle from start to finish. I don't expect to blow anyone away with that one. But a beautiful fragrance. That's Jardin d'Amalfi. Number 12. This is a classic, originally released in the 1960s, and this is where it all began for male scents, in my opinion. This is Dior's Eau Sauvage. Now, the original version, if you've ever tried it, has got an amazing heavy oak moss note in. It's been really toned down in the later versions, but I still think this is great. And for me, this is the quintessential gentleman's fragrance. This is the fragrance that Steve McQueen used to wear and claimed that he got all of his women from wearing Eau Sauvage. Probably had more to do with the fact that he was Steve McQueen, but you know, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. But if you haven't had the pleasure of trying it, go out and check it out. It's available in pretty much any department store. Easy to find, easy to try, and a beautiful fragrance. So next up, number 11, this one. So this is a flanker to one of the fragrance community's favourite discontinued fragrance, and this is also discontinued actually. The flanker to YSL's M7. This is M7 Fresh. And it's exactly what you'd expect it to be. It's a fresher version of the original. It's designed to sort of be for the warmer weather, whereas the original one would be far too heavy and cloying for hot weather. But all of the good parts of the original kind of remain in here. It's just that the fresher citrus notes have been brought more to the fore, and they sort of lead the fragrance, and it's much more fresh and vibrant and better for the hotter weather. So that is YSL's M7 Fresh. Next up, we've got one from my favourite house, and the house is Dior. And this one's Dior Oud Sport. Now this is the 2008 version, which is, I prefer to the current version. I feel like the 2012 version has gone too much in the direction of Dior Homme and Dior Homme Intense. Strangely, if you know Dior Homme Cologne, it's done the opposite. The original version of Dior Homme Cologne was very much an iris scent, and almost like Dior Homme Light. But the 2013 version is a completely different fragrance, and a fragrance in its own right. Well, I'd say the flip, the reverse is the case with Dior Homme Sport. This 2008 version is more of a sort of standout fragrance on its own, whereas the current version has gone much more towards being an iris-based scent and very clearly part of the Dior Homme family. So that is number 10, Dior Homme Sport. Number 9, this is from the Italian house of Profumo Roma, and this one's called Aqua Viva. Now these fragrances from this house tend to have a very high concentration of essential oils, usually in excess of 40%, which I think is the case on this one. You'll do very well to find a lemon-based scent that performs like this. It's absolute beast mode in all areas. It's aromatic, it's woody, it's got some resin in there. It's very linear, very simple, but very beautiful all the same. Really, really excellent fragrance, and I definitely recommend that you check it out. Next up, number 8. So this one is the smell of the Irish countryside. It's a fragrance that I would describe as being unspectacular but brilliant. It's got two of my favourite notes in here, iris and violet leaf, but the main thing that you'll pick up from this is a floral, citrus, lemon, verbena note. And if you haven't figured it out already, It's Creed's Green Irish Tweed. Now, if you haven't heard of this one or don't know anything about it, check out some of the excellent reviews on YouTube. The word classic gets used too much these days, but this one really is a classic, and definitely for any fan of fragrance, it's one you've got to check out. Next up, number 7. So with this one, I always say that sometimes beauty lies in simplicity, and this fragrance isn't complex, but it's masterfully constructed, very beautiful. And it's from Tom Ford's Private Blend collection, and this one is Neroli Portofino. I will leave a link to my review that I did on this one below, so you can find out a bit more. But what you're going to get is Neroli, Bergamot, Mandarin Orange, all beautifully blended to give a very sort of upscale, classic eau de cologne type of fragrance. As great as it is, I wouldn't pay full retail for it. It's not different enough to much cheaper alternatives. Even though it is far better than those alternatives, it's not different enough to justify the huge price tag that it comes with. Number 6, this is from the house of Labo, and this one is called Bergamot 22. Another fragrance that I would use the word beautiful to describe, the same as I did with Neroli Portofino. It's not complex, not groundbreaking, just masterfully done. It's got bergamot, orange blossom, grapefruit, musk, and there's some vetiver in there. But absolutely beautiful. Short-lived on my skin. Some people say they get great performance. Unfortunately, I don't, but it's a beautiful fragrance and definitely one to check out. So we've made it to the top 5. I'm just going to have to clear a little bit of room. So these are my absolute favourite spring and summer fragrances at the moment. At number 5, we've got one from the house of Thierry Mugler, and this one's called Mugler Cologne. Another one that I've done a full review on, so I'll leave a link again for this one. But this one's a very soapy, green, citrus fragrance with an excellent musk note in here. It's one of the best bang for buck fragrances out there. For 100ml, it's only £30 in the UK. Now, I've said before, this one smells very similar to Creed's original vetiver. It's not identical, but there are a lot of similarities. And if you want to save yourself a few quid, this one's about 1/5 of the price of the original vetiver. So try this one first, for sure. So number 4, now this one's an absolute masterpiece. Now, I don't use that word very often, but it does apply here. Not a fan of vetiver dominant fragrances generally. This one's just so well blended that I absolutely love this. And it's from the house of Roger Parfum, and it's called Vetiver Extrait. So this is a smoky, spicy vetiver with jasmine in there. It's got rose, it's got a hint of amber, and it's got some leather as well. Now, this is nothing like vetiver dominant fragrances that you may be thinking about, such as Lalique's Encre Noir. This one's much closer to Tom Ford's grey vetiver in the type of vetiver that's used in here, and the general vibe of the fragrance. Longevity is off the charts with this, 24 hours easily, and the performance generally is absolutely fantastic. But as always with this brand, very, very expensive. You need to, if you don't want to pay retail, have a look on eBay. They do come up from time to time, and you might be able to find something. Number 3, again, another one that I've done a review of. And this is from the absolutely brilliant house of Ouai Jane, and this one is called Ormond Man. So check out the link to the review if you want more detail. But it's a fantastic woody, spicy fragrance. It's got a very distinctive hemlock note in here, which is a unique woody type of smell. It's got juniper, but the key part and the magic in this fragrance is pink pepper, in my opinion. A real gentleman's scent, this one. James Bond could definitely wear this fragrance. That's the type of vibe it is for me. That's Ormond Man. So 2 to go. Number 2, this is one that I really didn't appreciate for a long time. And this is Serjoff Neo. Definitely one of the best bergamot notes I've ever come across. The only thing that probably can match it is Bergamot 22 by Labo. But this starts out a very bright green citrus, but then it develops into a spicy woody fragrance with some vetiver in there, some pink pepper and some cardamom. I was wrong about this. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong, and definitely I was wrong about this because it's a really great fragrance. And so, number 1, my favourite spring-summer fragrance this year. Out of all the masses that I've tried and out of all the ones I own, probably won't come as any surprise because you'll be expecting to see it somewhere on this list. From the House of Creed, Virgin Island Water. Close your eyes, smell this, and you're immediately transported to a hot summer's day. It's got loads of rum, coconut, lime, totally invigorating, totally classy. What more can I say? Creed's Green Irish Tweed, my number one for this year's spring and summer. So there you go, guys. That's the end of another video. So hope you enjoyed it. Please do let me know your top picks for the warmer months. Please rate, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all soon with another video. Cheers.